Guys, today I'm going to talk to you about Dandadan. I think that's how you say it, Dandadan. And I just finished watching it, and oh boy, do I have some thoughts about it. So, to give you the technical kind of breakdown of what this anime is about, so reeling from her recent breakup, Momo Ayase, a popular high schooler, shows kindness to her socially awkward schoolmate, Kin Takakaru, by standing up to his bullies. Kin misunderstands her intentions, believing he has made a new friend who shares his obsession with aliens and UFOs. However, Momo's own eccentric occult beliefs lie in the supernatural realm. She thinks aliens do not exist. A rivalry quickly brews as each becomes determined to prove the other wrong. Despite their initial clash over their opposing beliefs, Momo and Ken form an unexpected but intimate friendship, a bond forged in a series of supernatural battles and bizarre encounters with urban legends and paranormal entities. As both develop unique supernatural human abilities, they learn to supplement each other's weaknesses, leading them to wonder if their newfound partnership may be more than just survival. So, oh boy, this one, I don't even know where to start. This anime is insane. If you're doing drugs, you're gonna love this anime. I'm not sure how to break it down. It's one of those types of animes to where I'm watching it and it's just crazy. Like, it's wild, all the stuff that's going on, and yet it ends up being really, really good. So, I gave you the official breakdown of what it's like. Let me, just slight spoiler, let me give you a kind of an overview of episode 1, okay? Just an overview of what happens from my take, okay? Boy meets girl. Girl meets boy. Boy is into aliens, and he's a little awkward. Girl is into supernatural stuff, like ghosts, and she's very high-spirited. Ghost attack boy and steal his cock. And balls. Aliens abduct girl and try to molest her. Boy gets superpowers and hurts the aliens. Girl becomes a psychic and gets superpowers and helps the boy. And then they fall in love. It's crazy. When I started watching this, it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just so, you know what this anime is like? Have you ever seen, I was on Twitter the other day, X, and I saw this picture, and it was a picture of, like, it looked like a normal picture, but it kind of looked AI generated, but it was like a place in a town in like a city street, and there were these 3 girls standing there, and they were just smiling in the camera as the picture was being taken, and behind them was a car, and there was like some buildings and stuff. And then the post said, close your eyes, and then when you open them, just squint very barely to look at the picture. And so I'm looking at the picture, I close my eyes, and then I open them and squint very barely, and it's a picture of Jesus. And it looks like Jesus. That's what this anime is like. It is wild. It has supernatural stuff. It has ghosts. It has aliens. It's wonky. It's wild. You got people with superpowers and like these characters and everything just seems like it's flying by the seat of its pants. But when you're watching it, it just forms this image and it's good. Like, it's a really good anime. I'm recommending this anime. Dandadan. It's a really good anime. It gets a high score of on the anime score. It's like 8.73. It's really good. Now, it has 12 episodes. All 12 episodes are dubbed. I don't know if I've mentioned that yet, but all 12 are dubbed. And it goes by very wild. Now, when I started watching this anime, the art style threw me off a bit. In fact, in the first episode, which is like 20-something minutes or so, The first half of it, I was thinking to myself, I don't know if I'm going to like this. It kind of reminds me of the animation style of Devilman Crybaby, or maybe a little bit of Fire Force. And some aspects of the anime even remind me of something like Gantz, because of just how weird, and like there's aliens, but they're so weird and stuff. So there's stuff going on like that. But as I was watching it, it starts off just... the animation was a little issue for me. It's an art style. It's not cheap. You can look at it and say, well, this looks cheap. No, no, no. It's an artistic type of preference. And when it first started off, the way they introduced the characters, I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. This is kind of wonky. The characters are way over the top. I'm not sure about this one. Well, we get through about halfway through the first episode, and then this creature shows up, and then his cock gets stolen, and and these aliens are like, they have like magical like drills in places of their junk, of their cocks, and and I'm like, what's going on? And it left on that first cliffhanger episode, and I was like, okay, I have to see this through. I have to see what this is about. And about by the second episode, I was hooked. So if you started off and it seems very weird, just stick with it. Just stick with it for a couple episodes. And so there's all kinds of stuff. Like I said, there is supernatural stuff going on. There's supernatural stuff with aliens going on. The anime moves by very fast. Like, there isn't a lot of moments. There's a few moments that are slow, but they work. But it really does. When stuff picks up, it just kind of goes along. It's just like, oh my god, like what is all this stuff going on? But here's the heart of this anime. Here's the best thing about it, and it's crazy. At the core of this anime, it is, I think, a love story. Now, that's not normally something I would go for. That sounds kind of gay. The idea of a love story, a slice of life between these two main characters. The name is Momo and Ken, and it's the two pictures that you see on the poster of that boy and the girl. It is a romance story between the two of them, and there's all this stuff going on. But as the episodes progress, the two of them grow more and more closer together. And I have to say, even though I'm a dude, and even though I like, the isekais and the magics and the mythical creatures and the new worlds and the supernatural stuff and all that cool stuff, I was hooked into these two characters. And I think it's the heart of this anime, and it's really what makes this thing tick. As crazy as it goes across, it's like I said, you squint your eyes and you see something else, and it's like the actual full picture. Their relationship is really amongst all this chaos, and it's really, really believable. Like, it's sweet, and it's endearing, and it just unfolds, and he's really socially awkward, and she's blunt and bombastic, but then she gets kind of awkward and embarrassed, and then he does things, and they just gel. Like, it's crazy. They fit very well together. There's great chemistry. And it really makes you invest in the story. So when all this crazy stuff is going on, it makes you care about the characters. It makes you invest in the characters. Throughout the first season, they introduce new characters, just a few here and there, and they're great. They're pretty solid. I enjoyed all of them. It all makes sense. And there are just some really surprisingly heart-welching kind of stories. Like, there's a few episodes in here that they're not self-contained. I mean, they still fit into the overall story, but they're kind of unique in and of themselves. And I was just like, wow, this is a very gut-wrenching, felt story. And it almost seems out of place, but it's not. It seems out of place almost because of just how wonky, like, some of the creatures in this and some of the way that they act. It's just like, what is this? And what's crazy is that this isn't even a comedy. I wouldn't take it as a comedy. I mean, I guess it's considered kind of sort of a comedy because it does have some very funny moments. But overall, it's endearing, it's high-paced, it's wonky and crazy, and yet it's very, very entertaining. What are some of the negatives about it? Well, like I said, the animation is a little different, and it's not. There are some parts where it just looks like a normal anime, but there's other parts where it feels a little over the top, but it's intentionally designed to be that way. It's a stylized choice, so it's not a negative, but it's more of like a preference thing. So there's that, but the one of the negatives that I can think of was I wasn't overly fond of the way it ended. There's 12 episodes, and it leaves on this cliffhanger. And when it leaves on this cliffhanger, it really felt like it was in the middle of an episode. Like it felt like this last episode picks up and stuff unfolds and it's not left, most animes they end on like a cliffhanger, right? So that I don't mean that like they end on a cliffhanger and it makes you excited, but it's kind of like a hyped up cliffhanger. It's like, ooh, I can't wait for next season. This one ended and it just felt like it was like smack dab in the middle of an episode. I was like, when it ended and I saw that was episode 12, I was just like, wait, that's how they're going to end it? Whoa. Okay, so I was a little thrown off by it. It's not a massive negative. It's not a massive thing. But I enjoy the anime a lot, and so I guess I would have really enjoyed maybe a 14 or 15 episode, or hell, just drop it all at once. Give me like 24 episodes or something. I was thoroughly entertained. I binged watched the hell out of this. It's wild, man. It really is. Give it a couple episodes, and if you don't like it by episode, I mean even 2, then it's probably not going to be for you, because once you get into episode 1 and then certainly into episode 2, it remains steadily. I will say though, episode 4 is one of those times where the anime slows down and there's not a lot of action going on at all, and it's just Momo and what's his name, Ken, and they're at school together, and they're, slight spoiler, oh man, like they go through all this wonky crazy stuff, and then they're back at school, and they spend the whole day looking for each other. There's just awkwardness between the two, and they're just looking for each other, and they keep missing each other. It reminds me of that episode in The Office, whenever Pam and Jim, they're trying to call each other, they're trying to contact each other, and they just keep missing each other throughout the day, and they're thinking the exact same thing, like, man, I guess I'm just off, my day's just off, like, what's going on? It reminded me of that, and it was, like, it's gonna sound kind of gay, but it was really endearing. I was like, wow, this is really good stuff. I was invested in these characters, and after everything they've gone through in just 3 episodes, and then to just see them kind of go back and forth at school, and I wanted to see what would happen. And then it just picks up from there, and it's just great. So it deserves its rating. It's popular right now for a very good reason. It's actually been out for a good minute. It premiered last year in like the fall, in like October, and then through December. So it's all finished up, and it's out. I think the second season is coming out this year, or at least I've heard rumors about it. I heard that the animation is in production. Don't hold me to that. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked up too much on that yet. But that's it. Other than that, like I've mentioned a lot of the positives. Are there any other negatives I can think of? Man, I don't know. And even the negative I mentioned was just a really slight thing with how I felt like they could have just stuck the landing of season 1 a little bit better. I don't know. I feel like everything else is pretty good, but there are some stylized choices here that may not be for everyone. So you just keep that in mind. But I highly recommend this one, and I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments below. Please don't forget to comment and hit the like button and the subscribe button. It's free, and it goes a long way in helping out the channel a whole lot. Let me know your thoughts on, have you watched it? Do you think it's good? Was it not your thing? Do you know about season 2? Does it just keep getting better and better? I'd love to know your thoughts, of course. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and have a great freaking day.